Yeah, I was a non-stop alcoholic. Day in, day out, they'd see me at the bar. But now, I'm in my second year sober. I couldn't function without shooting something into my arm, but now I don't even need that shit anymore. Thank you. I used to play Genshin Impact. Quitting Genshin Impact has gotta be one of my top 3 choices of all time, besides pissing myself to use the bathroom back in 5th grade and eating that bat I found in the street back in 2020. If one of those magical cats from YouTube Shorts came up to me and told me I could either stop 9/11 or quit Genshin Impact, I'ma let America have its canon event. I've got free time like never before without having to spend countless hours on something that feels like a job with all the misery but none of the monthly salaries. I've recovered from my gambling addiction. I'ma just say it, my ass was not in the 10% that struck big, but we move. But best of all, my leg sensor won't go off when I'm within 100 feet of playgrounds anymore.
What did you say?
Now credit where credit is due, for the first 6 months, I actually fucked hard with the game. The elemental system was intuitive, the monsters were engaging, the story was charming, even exciting at points, and I found it pretty fun to compare what I had with my friends. That is before they started min-maxing, but we'll get to that later. But eventually, I started to notice cracks. The biggest issue is past the early game, the devs just stopped giving a shit. You've reached the end game, they squeezed out the cash, and there ain't much else to do except wait for events, mindlessly grind, and oh my god, the Spiral Abyss. The Spiral Abyss was a monthly or I think bi-monthly challenge where the game puts you up against its hardest challenges. Floors 9 to 12 are really all that matter, 9 to 11, fair content, nothing wrong. Floor 12 though was utter bullshit. In the early updates, it was just more health and damage. I could cope with that, skill-based gameplay. But eventually, the monsters just got so fucking annoying. Who the fuck pitched specters? Who the fuck approved the specters? These things were unhittable, were naturally imbued with elements, and had a stupid amount of health for how tiny they were. And then the dog shit enemies just kept piling on, and oh my god. But by far, the biggest wasted opportunity was co-op. When I first heard you could play with friends, I immediately rushed to hit AR-16. Like, I know life that shit cause it sounded so much fun. There aren't a lot of fantasy build maker games where you can play with friends. Imagine you and your homeboys just fucking jumping a boss in the mystical forest or some shit. That sounds cold, but instead, what I got was pure meh. You couldn't do quests with people, you couldn't interact with their world, and the most stupid, in my opinion, thing was there was no co-op Spiral Abyss. There were no co-op centered dungeons at all, except for the stupid ass grinding domains. And on the topic of grinding, non-stop, day in, day out. Each day I would look at my checklist for things I had to do, and at the bottom was always hop on Genshin Impact. You think you're gonna be on for 15 minutes top. I literally min-maxed so hard that my Ganyu could genocide entire camps of Hilichurls with one button press. But even with maximized stats, maximized artifacts, and maximized strategy, it would take 45 minutes, maybe even an hour each day. Cause then you remember resin. Then you remember weeklies. Then you remember you're almost done with the battle pass. Then you check wishes and see that your goat leaves in 2 days and you can't log off yet. You're at 150 primogens, only 10 more for a wish. So you start grinding and grinding and grinding until you're finished. And you check the clock and it's fucking 2 a.m. in the morning. I can take all of that though. I ain't no bitch, I can thug that shit out. The main issue is the artifacts. Okay, top 3 most evil people would go. 3, that one German guy. 2, Genghis Khan. 1. The man who pitched the idea of artifacts. If you've ever played any game before, you're probably no stranger to RNG, random chance. Now imagine you wanted to get an item in this game, a specific item, but first you have to go through 11 layers of RNG. Getting the right piece in the domain because all domains give 2 different sets. Getting 3 pieces or 2 pieces, the former being more efficient. Getting the right part of the set because there are 5 parts you can get. Getting the right main stat out of 17. Getting the right substat to go along with the artifact. Getting the right substat pulls. Getting high pulls or low pulls. Getting a good baseline. Getting 3 substats or 4 substats that are obviously being better. And lastly, getting the right baseline for that substat you just got. You can see why people would lose their shit, right? Of course, Genshin wouldn't be Genshin without the wish system. Now, from what I hear, the wish system is better than most of the gacha games, but to be honest, that just makes most of the gacha games trash, cause the wish system in Genshin is a flaming pile of garbage. The very least they could do is make the gambling fun. But 99% of the time, what you're getting is worthless weapons. And when I say worthless, I mean truly worthless. If you've dedicated yourself to the grind enough to care about wishing consistently, then you're gonna have more than enough weapon enhancement materials to never have to use this trash. At the very least, the game could allow you to use them as forms of other XP, like progressing characters or artifacts, right? Nope, stuck to weapons. So you're left with heaps of useless garbage from your average wish, which by the way, at the least efficient rate is gonna cost you £3. So your only option is to buy stupidly in bulk. In the average scenario, you're gonna spend around £540 to be guaranteed the character you want. Gacha games are just legalized gambling but marketed to children. Now of course, we move on to the worst part of the wish system. Eventually, you do get what you want. Probably from pity, not from chance, because the chances of getting a 5-star are 0.6% raw. So you finally hit 75 wishes, reaching pity, and you've won, right? No, but as if the endless grinding, shitty rates, horrendous prices weren't enough. As one last laugh, they add a 50-50 chance you get what you want. Why? That was my breaking point. I still remember the day I quit. All I wanted was Nahida, but instead I got Chi-Chi. Oh. Genshin Impact was a game that had a lot of potential. A lot of people clowning it, but to be honest, I have to admit that besides Breath of the Wild, there weren't many open world fantasy games that matched the atmosphere and sheer size. Starting off, I truly believed it could be one of my favorite games, at least for a good while. And for a while, yeah, I did enjoy it, but after hitting the end game, it just goes downhill. I guess at the end of the day, it's just an exercise in letting go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Check out my other videos, please. I talk about stuff like this all the time. If you liked the video, subscribe, leave a like too. That'd be nice. Peace.